make sure you guys check out GamerSupps. Go to gamersupps.gg and use code ZACH for 10% off. Keto friendly, 0 cal, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, no maltodextrin, no filler. I drink it to keep myself going, to keep myself energized. And I know some of you have been using the code lately, and I appreciate the support. You're getting something awesome to drink, something that's going to keep you going, something that tastes good, and you're helping out your boy Zach. So I really appreciate that. If I'm going to suggest any flavors, the blue raz, the blueberry, or dragon fruit are ways to go. But I actually have 3 other newest flavors coming to me. Actually, no, I think it's 4. I think I recently ordered 4. I recently purchased 4 flavors for myself, and they're on their way here, so I can't wait to share them with you. There's some interesting names, but yeah, they're still all keto friendly, 0 cal, 0 sugar, organic caffeine, no filler. Check them out. Gamersupps.gg, code ZACH. We're going to get started after this. Let's fix this keyboard a little bit. Oh, too far over. I think we're good to go right there. Got a bit of a mess going on here tonight. All right, we got that thing going. Leave that. We're going to talk about this. I know it's the older model. We're going to talk about that right there. Definitely.
Yes, science.
All right. Whew. Welcome, everybody, to the Sunday show. Sunday, May 14th, 2023. I found out today through watching El Jefe and Jefe. I'm not sure you're watching, buddy. Jeff, I found the original hoodie. You know that I have the where is it? It's right here. Aha! If you're over on Jeff's stream today. There it is, right there. Right there. Know your value. Know your value hoodie. And I have his consistency shirt. And I think I have another piece of merch. Anyway. Just wanted to throw those on because this is an original piece right here. Anyway, I found out today that apparently Mother's Day in other countries was earlier this week. It was like on Wednesday or Thursday. I just found that out. I found that out through Jeff's stream. But today in North America, so Canada, US, and maybe Mexico, I'm not sure. It's Mother's Day. So hopefully you called your mom. If your mom's not around, I hope you respected her memory in a way that's that you like to, and then tears Joe, Anyway, people, I spent the weekend watching Pixel A content from all my favorite creators and reading reviews. I read a lot of reviews, actually. I read more vlog posts and whatnot than what I normally do. And just looking at a spec sheet, that 7A is going to be a tough one to beat this year, I think. I'm not sure what else is on the board coming down. I'm sure there's probably some surprises from some manufacturers, but I guess we'll find out. Before we dive into things here, people, we're going to be looking at some spec sheets and whatnot, and we'll take your questions and things like that. I want to give a quick shout out, a quick thank you to StreamYard for sponsoring this live stream, for powering us here. Very simple to use them. Pick a microphone, pick a camera, and away you go. You can stream out to multiple platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, and I think you can even do Twitter still. All sorts of great platforms, or you can just do it single-handedly like we are here tonight, just straight to YouTube. It's completely up to you. You can bring in music, as you see here. We got sound,
Cucumber,
all sorts of things. Up to 10 people can bring guests in. Very simple, nothing to download, nothing to install. And I'm loving their repurposing tool, because I can go in there, I can grab a clip up to 1 minute, and I can push it out to Shorts, I can push it out to Reels, I can push it out to TikTok, or I can just download it. Rather than downloading the entire stream and like scrubbing everything, I just grab that one clip and get straight to the editing. So thanks to StreamYard for taking care of us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, people. Fairly chill evening here. I was going to stream this afternoon, but I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, okay, I got some editing, things like that to do. The family was out doing their thing because we went and visited my mom earlier, took her some Starbucks and cupcakes and whatnot. It was fun and expensive. I forgot how expensive Starbucks was, but you know, I had the points and some extra funds here, so I thought, you know, it's the least I could do for mom. So we picked up some Starbucks, and I cut the bill, and I'm like, whoa, what? I forgot how expensive Starbucks is. So, yeah, I think I'm coming a little bit hot here. There we go. But, yeah, it was good. It was a good visit with mom there. And then my wife went out with the kids and her mom for some flower shopping. And I just, you know, stayed back here and I watched some live streams and did some admin work. And here we are. Why does it feel like this is not in the right place? There we go. We got 10 of you here, but only 2 of you in the chat. But that's okay. I appreciate you guys. Jason C, how you doing? And Vlogs with Gareth, how you doing? Pixel 7 King, still King. Love it. So I'm assuming he's a Pixel 7 user. I've got the Pro right here. It's plugged in. We have to charge it up. I could probably stick it on the wireless charger and be fine. But we plugged in. Oop, see, now I picked that up. I got my wires all across everything. My wife is asking. Seems to be better. She's talking about the Wi-Fi. We had some technical issues. I had to do a complete power reset before we started the stream. Can I do laundry while you're streaming, or should I wait for the morning? And I love how Google has these instant answers with the messages. Either is fine. I would have typed that out, but I just, there we go, clicked it. Anyway, we're plugged in there. And I know I showed you guys this at the start, just because the default view usually for the streams is a look at whatever I'm kind of working on it right now. Still using the Deity Pocket Wireless here for my short form content. And we're going to talk about short form content because I put a tweet up and I feel like I'm getting knocked down a couple pegs, but I don't know that they're not directed at me. I'm just being used as the example. Pixel 6a. This is the same size and form factor. Let's see. There might be... Oh, there's questionable... There we go. This is the same form factor that the new 7A comes in. This 6.1 inch, I think it's 6.1 inch size factor here. And I've told you guys this before. I usually grab this a lot on the weekends over my 7 Pro just because of the size. But I really like having a telephoto. I really like some of the macro modes and things like that, and different effects and things like that that you can do on the Pro over here. So that's why I've been grabbing it here. And, oh, let's just go, there we go. So that's why I've been grabbing the Pro mostly. Let's go ahead and clear that, there we go. So, you know, the Pro still fits my hands just fine. And the 7 is awesome, my wife has that. But, been playing with the 6 a little bit more this weekend in anticipation of getting the Pixel 7a. Don't have the Pixel 7a here yet. Soon. Soon. That's all I can say. Soon. Hopefully soon. Yeah. Anyway. Like I said, going through the specs and whatnot this week. Pixel 7a, looking at people's reactions, you know, whether they're Team Pixel, maybe they picked up the device themselves. It's always interesting. Some of the most interesting content when it comes to new phones, for me personally, is people that don't normally cover phones. Like people that maybe just decided to upgrade, or they were given the phone or something like that, just to see their reactions. Maybe they're traditionally an iPhone person or whatever, and kind of seeing those reactions, and they're pointing out things that maybe you and I haven't normally thought of, right? So those have been interesting to watch too. Been watching a lot of short form content, mostly on TikTok and Instagram Reels. And I gotta tell you, man, that Instagram Reels place. What a wild west out there. I've been following what I've been hearing are some of the rules in terms of posting, amount of hashtags, full frame, this and that. And it seems to be working, but I think it's mostly because I've been more consistent over the last 2 weeks, literally posting twice a day. Today's the first day I only posted once. And yesterday was also a one-time posting late. And my posting on Friday on Instagram Reels, you guys aren't gonna believe this. It's almost got 6,000 likes or is it 6,000 views? I can't remember which one it is. And all I can tell is maybe it's because it's one of these kind of like paranoid reels. So right there, you're being watched, almost 6,000 views. And you guys can see I got relatively small audience right here. You know, almost 800. That used to be around 1,500. Then I used a tool and I got rid of a lot of the bots and everything. But you can see, you know, I don't know what the happy medium is. But 1,350 right there, that was one of my largest. And then, you know, almost 500 here, 300 there, 758 right there. It's all over the place. And I'll say this, and I know that some people that do Instagram and whatnot may really hate me saying this. I'm glad I'm using an AI tool to capture moments and put the captions and really kind of minimize the work. And I understand how that might make other people that do this kind of work and whatnot feel like, what the heck? But I'm a one-man show and I'm working on my own and I have no money. So this is that's what I'm doing. Anyway. Vlogs with Gareth has a good question here. And because I've noticed this as well. Big question. Why do pixels get so hot? Bit annoying. I've tried cleaning apps and data. Vlogs with Gareth, I couldn't tell you why that is. I've experienced it with I experienced it with the 6 series. I've experienced it with my 7 Pro. My wife has experienced it a little bit. She doesn't do as much heavy stuff as I do on her 7. But I'll tell you, for example, like I've taken a bunch of pictures and then, you know, you wait to get home to upload the photos to your Google Photos via Wi-Fi. And I notice that if I go out and I take a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos, and I'm not close to my Wi-Fi right away, so it's not uploaded, like if I don't do it around the house kind of thing, I notice a big ramp up to the point where I've actually had a message on my Google Photos saying, can't upload or can't process or something like that, device too hot. And I'm like, what? So like your hands are hot, right? So I just put it down on the table for a few minutes and it's usually fine. I've only had that happen twice. I would call the phone really warm, not hot, just really warm, very noticeably warm. But it's only been when I've taken a bunch of video, a bunch of pictures outside the house. Like for example, when I visited my folks today, we took a bunch of selfies and some family photos and this and that and everything. And I noticed that when I got home today, it kind of ramped up like that. A couple weeks ago when I was taking video, some 4K video with the Pixel 7 Pro, and got home and I think there was four or five videos, and they were about 6 or 7 minutes long each, 4K 30, and I got that warning saying the phone was too hot. I'm like, what? And so it's only happened to me a few times. Very warm is what I would call it. I don't know why that is. And of course, if I'm here at the house and I'm taking videos and pictures, you know, connected to my Wi-Fi, it's uploaded right away kind of thing. So I don't know what the issue is. The only time I've like I said, I've found it to be a hindrance is when I've done a bunch of pictures and video on it, and like I said, came home, connected to Wi-Fi and uploaded. So I don't know why, excuse me. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's a specific reason. I know that some people have had a lot of issues while taking video. I've never noticed it getting hot while taking video or anything like that. Never with 4K 30 or 60 or anything like that. So I wish I had a better answer for you, man. I haven't had it turn off or shut down or anything like that. So I know some people have had that happen. I'm not sure what to say about that. But I understand the frustration and whatnot. Yeah, and I know it is annoying, especially if you live like in a hot climate or something like that. I can definitely see it being really annoying, because it's not uploading. It's not, because like I told you, to get that message, right? So I don't know what to say other than to keep on repeating myself. But something I can definitely look into. I bet you some gadget guy, Juan Bagnell, I bet you he knows why. He's on that technical side of the pixels or anything like that. I think he probably knows. I think he knows. Mech116. Oh, sorry, Jason C here. I have a lot of people that tell me that Tensor G2 is a hotbox. I personally don't know. See, I've heard that as well, but I also heard the same thing. See, I didn't have any issues with. It's interesting you say that about Tensor G2 because I've heard that. I also heard that Tensor G1, so the Pixel 6, the Pixel 6 Pro is like that, and I personally haven't had that. I've only ever had it happen once with the Pixel 6a, and this is a Tensor G1 as well. I've had it get warm, not very warm. I know this is all very subjective. But I never had it happen with my Pixel 6 Pro. I never had any heating issues with my Pixel 6 Pro. And like I said, I've only experienced it twice with the Pixel 7 Pro. Mac1164, I'm doing video out of New York City. If I'm doing video out of New York City, I can sure be... What? If I'm doing video out in New York City, I can sure that my Pixel is warm, if not actually too hot. Thermals under load need work for G3. If I'm doing workout, I'm not sure. What does the location have to do with it? I'm not quite following you here, Mech, but I think I understand what you're saying here. I can be sure that my Pixel is warm, if not actually too hot. Thermals under load need work on Tensor G3. You know, it should be interesting if they address like Tensor Generation 3 for Pixel 8 runs X amount faster, runs X amount cooler. That would be, because they'll talk about speed, right? They will definitely say that it's faster, this and that, right? Because they pointed that out with the Pixel 6, with the Pixel 7a, saying because it has a Tensor G2, Tensor 2, it runs X amount faster and everything like that. So, of course, Pixel 7a also has 8 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to 6 gigabytes on Pixel 6a. So we've done the spec comparisons, you guys know this, between this and the 7a, it's quite a jump. Budget wise, if you're on an extreme budget, this is still a great choice. It really, really is. But at $500 outright and probably getting it free if you sign a deal with a carrier, the 7a is complete steal. Got a haircut and a beard thing done. I'm not as scruffy anymore. I like it. It looks good on. Look at this guy. He looks so good. Anyway, just gonna change things up here. Hey Zach, I hope you're doing well. Aditya, I'm doing very well, and thank you, sir, for coming through the stream. I'm gonna give you one of these. All right. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. I have a 6A, never had any issues with it. Yeah, exactly. So I never had any issues with my Pixel 6 Pro. I never used the 6, but I've got the 6A here. No, never any heating issues, never any warnings or anything like that. I've only ever seen that warning issue once with my Pixel 7 Pro. Oh, sorry, twice now, like I told you. Vlog, yeah, very annoying. I'm a photographer. Only just got the 7 to use on shoots 2 weeks now, so it gets hot. The metal frame after like 2 minutes of use. Amazing camera, no doubt. Really? Like 20 minutes? Like how many photos are you... I mean, I guess I have to know what your use cases are. Using the default app or using like something like Filmic or their photo app? I'd be really interested to know. If the frame is getting hot, may I recommend getting a thin case or something like that if you're going caseless, my friend. You like to live dangerously, I can tell. That's all I can really recommend. But I will definitely... I'll do some searching around and maybe I could do a stream on explaining about thermals and whatnot and maybe a reason why. Here's my fear about the thermal thing. The inconsistency, because... As an example, like I love going to Reddit and I love reading Reddit. I don't participate in Reddit, like I don't post a lot and I don't comment a lot on Reddit. So, but anyway, I'm on Reddit. But the Pixel subreddit, there's 2 different Pixel subreddits. There's like Google Pixel and Pixel phones or something like that. I think they're 2 main ones. I'm on both. And it's so wild. There's these just random posts out of nowhere saying Pixel's the worst phone I ever got, and and then you'll have people like praising it and everything like that. And there never seems to be like a happy medium. It's either one extreme or the next, which I think is the internet in a nutshell anyway. In a nutshell. But sometimes you'll get these random posts, people saying, does anybody notice that their Pixel runs hot? And then there's a whole bunch of people replying, and I'm in that group as well, saying, no, never noticed it, or it's only happened once or twice kind of thing. And it's always the same people that always seem to come back, because I check their post history, and they're always talking about how hot it is. And I'm wondering if it's a manufacturing thing, an inconsistency with either Tensor or some other manufacturer thing that's causing devices to run really hot. Which kind of goes back to the whole, remember when people were complaining about the glass breaking, the camera thing? It seemed like it was happening for weeks. For like 2 or 3 weeks on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. And then poof, we didn't hear anything. I gotta wonder if that was just a vocal minority, or just a case of a batch of Pixels that were out there that had a manufacturing issue, right? So... yeah, no case. This dude, he likes to live dangerously. I wish I had that soundbite. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know this for sure. I'm just going off of what I see out there. I can tell you this. People are very vocal on Twitter and on Reddit if they don't like their Pixels. But I think that's kind of normal for those platforms. I don't see people complaining about Pixels on Instagram, but Instagram's also a completely different beast. And everything. I also don't see a lot of negativity about Pixel on TikTok. Again, that might be the nature of the beast. I don't see negativity about Pixels on YouTube Shorts. But that could be an algorithm thing as well, right? So it's hard to... sometimes it's hard to gauge these things. Like, the only people that really know how many issues or what the percentage is going to be Google and or... the carriers that take back these phones, that take them in for repair, like the iFixits and there's a chain up here in Canada called U-Break iFix or something like that. I think they're called. So they'll know like what percentage of Pixels come in and for what reasons and everything like that, right? So Mech Love says, if I'm taking video or anything that pushes the G2, it will get warm. If it involves video or high data load, it could get to near thermal throttle. Okay, yeah. So I can tell you on a couple occasions where I've gone to like edit a photo, and by editing a photo, I don't mean just apply a filter and go, or just using Magic Eraser. I mean going in there and adjusting like white levels and, you know, the HDR or whatever it is, like all the different, like actually tweaking everything, actually editing. I've experienced that getting warm, because after it puts it in there and processes it, it can get warm. I've had that happen. I think on one occasion using Lightroom, which I stopped using. Because I didn't like the way it was. I just didn't like Lightroom for some reason. I know a lot of people like using Lightroom on mobile. I've had, like I said before, I've had to get warm doing 4K video, not 1080p though. So, which is good, because when you're doing a lot of the short form stuff, the vertical stuff, 1080p is usually the max you can upload anyway. You can upload 4K to YouTube Shorts, but there's really no point. So, okay, so yeah, the Google camera app, raw pics. Oh, taking 50 to 100 pics. Okay, I can understand that. You must have like a 512 storage going or something, 256 for taking photo, because those RAWs are huge. I have mine set up so I can pick between RAW or JPEG, right? And because when it takes the RAW photo, it takes both the RAW and a JPEG, right? Yeah, I would keep your eye on it, man. Hopefully you have a warranty with it, and I hope it doesn't cause any future issues. I'm hoping that's something that maybe Google can fix with a future update. I'm not sure if that's a software thing. But again, it sounds like it might be an inconsistency issue in terms of manufacturing. Because I know other people that do crazy photos in RAW and 4K this and that, and they've never talked about their Pixel ever getting warm. So, like, what is it? What's the consistency there? No case. Jason says that I have more hate for What? I have more hate for the Pixel for far more than Apple or Samsung. Jason, What did the Pixel do to you? I don't know the full story, man. What did the Pixel do to you? Hate's a strong word, man. 4K is when it's occurring. Yeah, 4K. See, it doesn't surprise me. So you guys know that I recently had the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. That thing would get warm during 8K, whether it was 8K 30, 8K 24. There's no 8K 60. It didn't get warm at all with 4K 60 or 4K 30, which I was really impressed with. Like not even a hint of it. It was so cool to the touch and everything like that. And that's exactly what I would expect from a Galaxy Ultra device like that and everything. But definitely ramped up with the 8K, which I'll tell you, man, 8K is cool and everything, but it's so overkill. Like I took a bunch of video and I put up that one quick short you guys saw it. I also put on Reels and TikTok of the 8K footage of my son getting his hair cut and everything like that, just to kind of demonstrate things. And I'll tell you, Final Cut Pro did not like rendering that 8K footage. So I made the project in 8K in the same resolution and everything like that. But when I exported it at 4K. Because YouTube did not like the 8K upload. I did this whole experiment one day, and I was actually live with the people on my Discord telling them what I was doing. I spent all day doing it because I couldn't find the proper research. I was trying different formats for exporting, all sorts of stuff, right? So, yeah. I mean, I could see the use case for 8K. You know what I thought was kind of funny? I think I pointed this on Twitter. I tried using Samsung's own in-house, like their default video app on their phone, to edit 8K video that was shot on there. So I shoot the 8K on the Samsung, and then I went to go edit, and it still gave me issues or files too big or whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, what? Shouldn't I be able to edit this on the same device I shot it on? TikTok does not like anything above 1080p. Don't even try 1080p by 1920. Don't even try 4K. Same thing with Reels. YouTube at least will take a 4K upload and spit it out 4K, a 4K short. So I love the Pixel. It's not me. It's the people responding on Twitter. Sorry for the confusion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say what? I've never seen you hate on a device. Jason asks questions on Twitter. Yeah, Google has never ever had a match. Yeah, Google has never had a manufacturing issue. Looking back at Zach's old Pixel 2 and Pixel 3 videos. Yeah, there's a couple videos in there that are purposely literally I only made a whole bunch of them recently public, but there's one or two in there that I purposely left private, and because they were overzealous and they didn't really serve anything other than to be shock, and the views kind of prove it. But yeah, it was the Pixel 2. If you guys remember Pixel 2 had a blue shift or blue tint issue, it seems like. I don't think Google ever addressed it directly. I ended up buying 7 of those devices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was one of these things where if you didn't notice or didn't know about it, you didn't notice it, but as soon as somebody pointed it out to you, you couldn't see it. And that was when you turned the phone or looked at it anything other than straight on, you saw a blue shift. So like people would have the phone and you would tilt like just a little bit this way and it was blue. I did a whole series on it and everything, and I gave them such heck about it, and I don't think it ever got resolved. I think I used my final one for a while, and as soon as the 3 came out, yeah. Pixel 2 Panda Edition. It was such a gorgeous phone too, hey? But they had that issue with the blue shift. I'm glad they got it figured out though. And look where we are now. About the camera bar, I usually drop it on the carpet. Fool no case. The camera making a shaking noise when holding, but doesn't affect the camera quality or pixel, I should say. Okay, so the shaking sound you're hearing inside of your Pixel is the telephoto. It's the telephoto moving around inside from the optical image stabilization. So I know if you take it, you can kind of hear a rattle sometimes. That's normal, but don't do that because you're adding stress to your device. But yeah, that's normal. There's nothing wrong with your device, because I remember having that with I think it was the 6 Pro, and I noticed it, and I think it's a little bit with the 7 Pro here. So, but yeah, don't go around shaking your device. So anyway, let me bring up this screen here. We always do this. We always have fun with this website. I think it's one of the more websites when it comes to information and whatnot. This is GSMarena. And right here we have the Pixel 7a in all her glory with all the specs and whatnot. And so I was kind of going through like what the budget devices are out there, whatnot, and I wanted to let you guys throw a couple at me here. So this is a wonderful website for anybody that's kind of a spec geek and wants to look at things. Google's own website will list things, but of course you can't compare between manufacturers. And I know that specs like this only tell part of the story. Software, post-sale support, repairability, things like that all play a huge factor, of course, depending on who you're with for carrier will also play a huge factor as well. So we're going to go up here and we're going to go to, well, I think we actually have to go to the bottom here. Because they don't have it really obvious. I love the compare feature. So Jason C, I'm going to put you on the spot. I hope you're still there, buddy. I need you to name a mid-range device that would be in the same range as the Pixel 7a and the TCL 40 XE. And hopefully you're thinking of the same device I'm thinking of. Because we're just going to do a quick comparison here of some prices and whatnot. Not prices, but in terms of specs and whatnot. Okay, exactly. A54, that's what I thought. So Samsung yeah, right there. A54. So these are all mid-range. TCL purposely puts themselves in that mid-range market. I know that all three of these, as an example, I'm going to go to Bell Mobility. Now, Bell Mobility is a Canadian carrier here. It's one of the big three. But as an example, if we go to devices here, so the big three carriers here in Canada are Bell, TELUS, and Rogers. But as an example, if you look at their devices, if we click on Samsung, for example, and the pricing you're seeing here on the screen, everybody, is Canadian pricing, so please disregard. Okay, so we'll click on Samsung. Here we go. So yeah, Ultra, 23 Plus, 23, 22, Z Fold, Z Flip, 20. Wow, they're still offering the 22 Ultra there. Interesting. 21 FE, that's a steal right now. There's the A54, and then if you go, I don't want help. I hate these automated things. Do you want some help? No. Let's go to TCL. So their top, quote-unquote, top TCL device around is 40XE. Jason, do you guys have the TCL 40XE in the United States? I believe you do. Anyway. Pretty fair comparison. Now, I'm going to click this little button right here that says differences, and I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see a little bit more. Hopefully it's not zoomed too much. There we go. I think that's fair. I think we can see all that. So anything that's bolded will be different. Obviously, a lot is different with these devices, okay? So, keep in mind, everybody, the Pixels on the left, TCL in the middle, Galaxy A54 on the right, okay? Galaxy A54 on the right, TCL in the middle, 40XE, and then Pixel 7a on the left, okay? Now, in terms of IP, both the Pixel and the Galaxy A54 have IP67. There's no protection there at all from TCL in theirs. We have a 90 hertz up to 90 hertz display on the Pixel and the TCL, and then Samsung come and get 120 hertz, which I was not aware of that. 120 hertz. That's pretty cool. There you go. Let's go through the rest of the size here. Now, this TCL is a bigger phone. It's also a lot taller. It's 6.56 inches. The A54 6.4 and then 6.1. But again, they're all kind of in the same class as well. And then we have a 1080p by 2400 for both the Pixel and the Samsung. Samsung's at 2340, but I think it's fair to point out that it's pretty close there once you round up. TCL coming at 720 panel. Okay. Then you got a MediaTek with the TCL Exynos with the Samsung Tensor G2. Okay. Expandable storage with the TCL. Expandable storage with the Samsung, which is awesome. They know their market. No expandable storage. And then a base of 128 or 64 with TCL. And then you can go 128, 256 with the A54. Then when you get the cameras, this is always really important to people, and it should be important because your people are constantly taking pictures and they're posting things on social media, etc., etc. Oh, let's scroll that. There we go. So a 64 megapixel main shooter, and then a 13 megapixel ultra wide with the Pixel 7a, and then TCL has a 13 megapixel, and then 2 depth, 2 macro, and I don't really know. I mean, I know from using the TCL 20 and 10 series, these tried really hard, these dedicated macro and depth, but I'll tell you, software usually makes a big difference in how things are processed and whatnot. And then Samsung coming in here with a 50, which is pretty close there to the 64. Of course, we all know that megapixels don't tell the full story. An ultra wide at 12 compared to the 13 over here. And then a 5 megapixel macro. Okay. 4K 3060, 1080p, 3060, 120, 240. So you have all the modes here on the Pixel for video, which is awesome. Really, really awesome. Then you got basically the same modes over here with the Samsung, and then TCL basically is just stuck at 1080. Okay. Selfie cams are pretty comparable, except when you go to Samsung, Samsung's like, no, we're going to give you all the pixels, all the megapixels. So they're at 32 compared to 8 and 13. All right. And then batteries, pretty much the same. Pixels coming at 4385, both Samsung and TCL 5000. Wireless charging on the Pixel. Everything else is wired. Of course, you have 25 watt over here with Samsung, which is pretty cool. And do we have a weight? Did they list the weight? Did they list the weight? Sometimes they list. They didn't list the actual. Did they list the weight? Did I miss it? Hold on here. Resolution size. Hold on here. Resolution size, protection type. Weight. Here we go. I don't have a weight for the TCL, but comparable 193, 202. Now, I want to be really clear here. I have never used any of these. We're just looking at specs on paper, which I think a lot of people would do. Okay. So now, when you look at price point, for example, looking at Bell's website, the outright price is 320 Canadian. I believe that's 250 American. Please don't quote me on that. I should have been better prepared for this, but I'm not. And I believe that the Samsung is very comparable. Let me go to Samsung here. A54, they have it 690 Canadian, so it's probably 600 American. And then of course we know that the Pixel, it's coming at 500 American. So lots to weigh there. When I say that, when I put in the title there for the stream, the Pixel 7a is the one to beat this year, that's looking at the overall picture. So that's not just the specs. That's looking at software. That's looking at, like I said, post-sale support. That's looking at, app support. That's looking at operating systems. I know that some people are not fans of One UI, for example. They like the quote-unquote pure system with Google, for example. TCL's overlay there is pretty good, actually, next Vision. But also, you need to look at the history of what these devices doing. It was interesting during our conversations last week when we were talking about the Pixel Fold, and everybody was kind of like, oh my gosh, it's $1,800, right? Okay. I'm on record, and I'll say it again. I think the Pixel Fold is priced fairly for being a new device out now, for being their first gen. It's not an excuse, but I think it's priced fairly for where it should be right now for a first gen. However, we all know as the year goes by, the Pixel price, the Pixel will drop in price. You have to look at the history of the devices. You even go back to the Nexus devices. So in the regular Pixels, in the Pixel Pro series, and in the Pixel A series, they've always had a price go down 45 plus days later. Let alone Black Friday. Black Friday, they practically give away devices. Now, do I think they're going to be slashing them that much with the Fold, for example? No, I don't think so. But if the Pixel 7a is $500 now, I can see Google putting that down to as low as $300, if not less, come Black Friday, which would be a complete steal. Which, like, you'd be insane not to buy one, just to have one come this November. And again, it's a total win for consumers and whatnot. Total win. Because you know what? When you're making that decision in November during Black Friday, you're going to have so many reviews and opinion commentary and people like me, and, you know, the reviews from people like TK Bay and Shannon Morris, and, you know, big creators like Unbox Therapy and Marquez Brownlee and Austin Evans. And you know, the list goes on and on. There's so many great creators out there, and, you know, all my creator friends and whatnot. So it's always good to compare and whatnot. It's definitely a steal right now. Like, if you need a phone now and you know you like the Pixel ecosystem, grab that 7a. Definitely grab it. You can't go wrong. Mac 1164 A54 is $449 US. Yeah, see, that's a steal. So then you have to, wow, so $50 less. Is that the outright price? Hold on a second. Hold on. Samsung.com. This is probably going to take me to the Canadian website. Yeah, A54. Okay. Okay. Click this little button here, and we're going to change the location to, no. I don't want the French location. Change location. Asia Pacific, Latin America, North America, USA, English. Remember my choice for next time? No. Okay. Not that I don't believe you, Mac. I just want to double check here. I want to bring it up on the screen here. So we'll present screen. Okay. This is the Ultra. That's not what we want to look at. We want to look at, let's go. I guess I'll just click on mobile because I don't see, why am I not seeing phones? Hold on here, let's go back to the main website. Yes, I'll take your cookies. I don't care. Z Fold. Ah, here we go. Okay. A54 5G. It's funny they're still putting 5G beside names. All right. So unlock, yeah, $449. Yeah. So Mac, yeah. Not that I didn't believe you. I just want to double check. Yeah, but that's 128 gigabyte storage. So for $50 less. Interesting. So let's do this then. Let's go back here and let's reset this. And let's just do a one-on-one with the Pixel 7a. So Pixel 7a. I've watched so much 54 coverage. I should know all this, but I'm only now getting back in the game. Plus, I like doing this kind of comparison stuff with you guys. It's always an interesting conversation. All right, so Pixel 7a on the left, A54 on the right. Okay, and we know that Pixel is 500. Sorry if my voice keeps on coming out here. I'm just gonna move my mic over. So we know that Pixel 7a is 500. A54, as we saw on their website, is $449. Okay. And Jason, we'll get to that. We're gonna get to this and this in just a skinny sec. Okay, we're gonna go through this real quick. Okay. All right. So May, I know the 54 came back out in March, so earlier this year. Okay. So 120 hertz, 90 hertz, 6.1, 6.4. So the Samsung is a little bit taller. Corning glass 5 it's 3. Interesting. So I mean, glass is glass. That's not a way to deflect or anything, but interesting. A little bit stronger glass on the A54. Exynos versus Tensor G2. Of course, 120 or 256, but I'm not seeing. See, I don't see that option here, so it might be overseas that you can get those different size options. But you, of course, can expand that storage, which is good. Okay. Then we got a 50 megapixel shooter. Then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a macro. Okay, and then 64 over here. So if you want to look at it that way, technically on paper, the pixel camera, rear camera, main camera is a little bit better. Video is pretty much the same. Selfie camera, 13 versus 32. Of course, if you've ever taken a selfie with a Pixel, the results are usually pretty good. Okay. USB Type-C 2.0, 3.2 over here. I mean, the spec geeks will care about that. Fingerprint under display optical. Interesting. Okay, so the 54 also uses an optical. They're both optical under display. And then 5,000 milliamp versus the 4385. So I would expect under a battery test, the 54 to do better. And of course, you have wireless. You don't have wireless over here, but you have 25 watt wired. So it is probably a much faster charge. Whereas we know the Pixel tops out at around 20. It's either 23 or 27, even if you use a 30 watt. And yeah, there we are. So very close in all of them. Very close. I completely forgot, like I said before, about the 120 hertz over here with the 54. So that's interesting. Pretty close in weight too, 193 versus 202. So there you go. Let's go over to store.google. And this is the this is the Canadian website. Let me just switch this up here. Pixel 7a is here. Learn more. Of course, right now 7a they're giving you away earbuds, and depending on who you go through, you might get something different. So yeah, $500. Is Samsung giving anything with their devices? So you can pick no carrier, your storage, your color, trade-in, care, choose your options, monthly. Doesn't look like they're giving away anything for free right now, but we know that during the initial launch of a device, like I'm pretty sure Samsung probably gave away something. But right now, like depending on what you pick, you can get the Pixel A Buds A series, which are really good, really good. Or you, depending on where you go through, you might get something else, like some sort of credit or something like that. So that's one of the perks of picking up the device first, right? Like running out and getting, because you'll get those earbuds for free and stuff like that. And if you already know that you want that device, if you already know you want the A series, I mean, it's a win. You're getting some earbuds and everything like that, and you can go ahead and resell them or whatever, or you can enjoy them. The earbuds actually come in that new blue color as well too. They released a new color, so it's the same it's the same buds in another color. For some reason today, I put it in the El Jefe's chat. I thought it was a second generation. I'm like, how come no one's talking about this? But it was just a new color. They added on the blue color. That new, they call it sea blue, I think it is. So, of course, that coral color is just gorgeous too. Whew. And it's sold out. You can't get it. You know that people like the orange phones. So going back to, I've seen the TCL4 XL, not the XE. So the XE might be a Canadian exclusive. It's probably similar to that XL. Okay. I recently got contacted by my TCL PR, and they said, oh, if you pick up a TCL 40 XE right now, they're throwing in a free TV. I think it's a 52-inch or something like that, which is a decent size. So I said we have a 65-inch TCL Series 4, which we really like. It's a good television. Jason says, I don't have much experience with TCL phones. How well do they update their phones? Okay, so from my experience, it seemed like the regular updates. I don't know how many years though. I've heard 2, maybe 3. Don't quote me on that. I can tell you that I gave one of my TCL devices, I think it was the 10 Pro. It was our first generation phone, to my uncle. He still uses it to this day, and he still likes it. So yeah, he still gets app updates and everything like that, and so he hasn't complained. We text all the time and everything. So yeah. Jason says here, I'm curious, slightly off topic, of the big 3 carriers encounter, which one is the largest? It depends on what you mean by the largest. So the big 3 in no particular order are Bell, Rogers, and Telus. Each of them has their own sub-brand as well, or like a value brand, if you will. So the value brand or sub-brand of TELUS is Kudo. The value sub-brand of Rogers is Fido. And for Bell, it's Virgin Mobile. And then there are some exclusive carriers, like in Atlantic Canada. Quebec has like Videotron and a couple other ones that are kind of exclusive out there. Because Quebec. I'm not sure why. And I think in overall subscribers, like across Canada, overall, I think Bell is the largest. But in terms of largest network, I think it's TELUS. And Rogers mix in there somewhere. They're always releasing numbers every year. I know that through Bell or TELUS, you're going to have coverage across the country. Rogers is supposed to be the same. I know for the longest time in northern Alberta, for example, like right in the boonies, like where my family lives and everything like that, my extended family. If you weren't on TELUS or Bell, you couldn't get any coverage at all. So, but now lately with Rogers, it's been really good. They've expanded really well out there. So, I guess it depends on what your definition is. I think Bell is the largest in terms of subscribers, but I could be wrong. I don't know that. I don't know if that's including Virgin Mobile as well. But yeah. Jay says, I'll say this: TCL makes great television. They do, man. We love our Series 4. We had to replace our Series 4, but it wasn't their fault at all. My little girl was playing with a Hot Wheel, and she threw it, and TCL televisions are not immune to Hot Wheels. They'll dent. I came home and I turned it on. I'm like, is there something wrong with my TV, or is it just the channel? I changed the channel a couple times, and I'm like, I went up to the TV and I could feel the mark. I'm like, oh my god. So I left it turned off. This is story time, people. I left it turned off, and I didn't say anything because I wanted, like, my kids were at school, and I'm like, what happened? Because we obviously left all at the same time in the morning, so I came home in the afternoon. That's what I found. So I didn't freak out. I didn't call. I didn't scream or anything like that. I waited till everybody got home, and then normally when we eat dinner, I like to watch the early news, or at least the first 9 minutes of the news for weather and what's going on in our own backyard. It's not international, it's just local news. I turned the TV on, and I just started watching. So I'm eating a bit of my dinner. We're watching where they're kind of talking, and I was kind of kept this eye looking over to see if one of my kids was reacting or something like that. None of them reacted. Like, none of them were like, what's Dad doing? And I just kept on watching the news, and my wife goes, What happened to the TV? What? Do you see that? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, what happened? And such a bad impression. And I'm like, I don't know. Kids, do you know what happened? No. I'm like, listen, you better come sit down on the couch right now, because we're going to talk about lying. And it was a learning experience. Let me tell you that. It was a learning experience. And my daughter eventually confessed, and she was in tears and everything. And whatever. We bit the bullet. We couldn't afford it at the time. We still can't afford it. We went out to Costco that night, and we knew that we could pick it up it was actually on sale for $400 Canadian. A Series 4. I don't think TCL sells anymore. But it's a Series 4 series. I'm not sure if they call it Series 4 or 4 series. Series 4 TCL with Roku built in, so you get the Roku channels for free, which are really good. The Weird Al movie was on there, and there's all sorts of really good stuff. Minor commercials here and there, no big deal, but it's free, right? And 4K HDR, like Game of Thrones looks great on it. Mandalorian looks great on it, and everything like that. So, yeah, I don't think they sell the 4 series anymore. If you can get a hold of the 5 series or even 6 series, you'll be happy, I guarantee it. But yeah, they went to Costco that night. We already knew it was going to be great. There's actually 2 other couples down the same aisle looking at televisions, and they're like, well, should we get the LG for $950 or the TCL for $400? I'm like, get the TCL. And they're like, what? And I'm like, they're older boomer kind of people, and they're, if expensive means it's better, right? No. So get the TCL. You'll be happy. Vlogs with Gareth. Zach, is it worth to trade in my 7 for 8 in October? Looks same. Makes no sense apart from Tensor 3 chip and cameras. I don't know. Only just got my 7. Haha. Okay, so first of all, we don't know anything about the Pixel 8. We don't know a thing. There might be some rumors out there and whatnot. I'll tell you this right now. When it comes to rumors and leaks, when it comes to Pixel devices, there are 2 sources that I trust, and because of their track record. One is John Prosser of Front Page Tech. You cannot deny how they've always been, you know, pretty much dead on with all the specs and information up front, including pricing, especially with the most recent devices. And 2, in terms of what the devices will look like, On Leaks. Okay, if you go to Twitter at On Leaks, okay, tell Steve I sent you. Okay, he released the CAD designs of what the Pixel 8 Pro should look like this fall. In fact, I've actually got a folder here, and we'll bring it up here. Exactly. Septian, how you doing, sir? Glad you're here. I'm gonna bring up this album here. I'm gonna keep your comment up here because this is a. I know a lot of people are like, should I wait? Should I wait? And I have a final thing I want to say about that kind of stuff. And I'm not trying to make an example of you or anything, man. I just I think people need to just chill out and listen to what Zach has to say. Because I know it's exciting stuff. I know people are like anxious and everything. All right, check this out. So about a month ago, On Leaks put this out there. He said these are the first CAD designs. Look at what the Pixel 8 is going to be, and the big thing, Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel 8 Pro, and keep in mind that this is a CAD design. No specs were mentioned. But the biggest takeaway for all of us when we saw this was the flat screen, which I am super excited about. Nothing wrong with the curved edges, people, but the flat screen, okay? So we'll just go through here, okay? Triple camera setup. There might even be a 4th in here. I think this is a sensor laser autofocus, or it might even be periscope, who knows? But flat screen, you know, the volume's down below, power's above there. Flat screen. It looks gorgeous. Look how thick this camera module is, though. I'm okay with that. I like it. Remember how upset people were with the look of this? Okay, so this is what the 8 Pro is. Now, what I thought the most interesting thing about this leak and whatnot from OnLeaks was, well, where's the 8? Oh, do we just assume the 8 is smaller? Or is this a way of kind of phasing out the A series? Remember we heard this rumor about phasing out the A series? Well, if you look at the specs of the new Pixel 7a, you got to wonder, are they going to shift it so eventually, maybe next year, Pixel 8 comes out, Pixel 9, Pixel Fold, Generation 2. Right? Some speculation there. But anyway, going back to your question there about should I wait? Should I trade in for the 8? Because so we don't know what the specs are. We don't know what the trade-in deals are going to be. I don't know what kind of deal you have with your carrier. I don't know where you are in the world. I'll say this. If you need a phone, get a phone now. There is always something coming out. Literally on the day of when these devices release or when we get the final information, people were like, well, I'm going to wait for the Pixel 9. I'll wait for the Pixel. Listen. The same thing happens with iPhones. The same thing happened with Samsungs and everything. There's always a new device coming. Keep in mind, though, in recent years, in the last 5+ years now, it's literally been 5+ years. If you look at the specs between devices, between generations, so if you look at like the spec difference between the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14, or the iPhone 12 to 13, or even 12 to 14, if you look at the difference between Pixel 6 and Pixel 7, Pixel 6 Pro, Pixel 7 Pro, it's not that big of a spec jump. Software stays consistent between these devices. There's not that huge of a spec jump. You might have a different generation processor, things like that. So it's definitely something to keep in mind that, like, I'm going to be getting the 8 or 8 Pro, whatever it is, because I like Pixel and I like reviewing them, and that's what I focus on. But I would say, just like I would tell anybody that has a Pixel 6, should I get a Pixel 7? Well, I would say only if you need the upgrade, like once you look at the differences. Otherwise, there's not a big difference. If you have a Pixel 6a, should you get the Pixel 7a? I would say no, unless you need to replace your device. But if you really want that wireless charging, if you really want that 90 hertz, if you really want that upgraded camera, then yeah, man, give her. But there's not a lot of differences, right? There's decent differences. Like if you're coming from like a Pixel 5a, a Pixel 4, 4a, then going to the 7a makes total sense. Coming from the 6a, I'm not sure if it does. If you're a spec nerd in this night and you want the latest and greatest, then go for it. But there's always something new coming out. I know that's a big, extended, long answer and everything, but it helps to really put things in perspective. And I know that there's obviously a huge element of FOMO, with, you know, fear of missing out, right? I understand that. But sometimes all you need to do is check out your wallpaper, and it feels like a new phone. Seriously, try it. Or changing out your launcher and your icons and everything like that. Yeah. I hope that helps. I know it's a long-winded answer. I like to give answers like you and I are having a coffee, right? Like my friends ask me the same sort of things all the time. Zach, I've got a Galaxy S22 Ultra. Should I get the 23? And I'm like, dude, how much zooming are you doing? I don't think you need to, man. I don't think you need to go from 22 Ultra to 23. I really don't. Especially when I know what you do, buddy. You're on Twitter and you're on Facebook and Instagram. That's all you do. You don't even use your stylus. You barely zoom in on stuff. Why would you need that? Because it's new. That's not a reason, man. Maybe it is a reason. I don't know. Maybe it is a reason. Expensive does not be better, yes. Steph, how you doing? I bought a case and a screen protector for the Pixel 7. I am invested in getting the Pixel 7 and gifting my Pixel 6 to my son. There you go. Boom. So if I end up getting the 7A, I'm actually going to give this 6A to my kids. We'll throw a plan on there, and they will finally have a phone number and something they can carry, because they walk to school together right now, and you know, be a little bit extra safe and things like that. Call their grandma at night and things like that. It'll be good. Do you have any hopes for an 8 Pro in terms of upgrades you'd like to see? Ooh, well, okay. Major win. If it ends up having that flat screen, that's a major win. That's a huge win. Here, might as well. Two, buddy. Flat screen's a major win. I really like the almost flat display on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. It just had the just enough curve. It was just right. It's kind of like the iPhones with just a little bit of curve, right? And not that the curve on this Pixel 7 Pro is bad or anything like that. It's just I prefer a flat display. So hopefully they keep that flat display. With the 64 megapixel on the 7A, I expect the Pixel. I expect the 8 Pro to be, you know, around that 100 megapixel range, somewhere there. The 120 hertz better stay on there. That's kind of a standard now on that. We'll see 90 hertz hopefully on the regular 8, if there is a regular 8. And what we talked about at the top of the hour, the thermals. I hope, whether it's addressed or not, I hope that Tensor G3 runs cooler. I hope that's not a concern for people. It's getting real comfy here with you guys. Hi. That's all I can really think of right now. I would like to see more third-party support for it. But I also understand why why some case manufacturers don't always support the Pixels. They may have during that first kind of generations, or even the 6 series. But for example, like Nomad was making Pixel cases for a while. They were working with Google with the Made by Google program. Bellroy has been consistent there. I think they've made cases. I hope somebody from Google is working on those kind of things to make sure that there's more out there in terms of cases right away during launch, rather than a couple months later. It would be really, really helpful. I'd like to see that. All right. Vlogs with Gareth says, UK, bro. Okay. I think I'll keep my 7 for now. Kind of annoying phones every year only just got back my 7 back in the day. Companies would release phones every 2 to 3 years. Can't keep up. It's the game now, unfortunately. It's the game. Samsung floods the market. Apple has releases, what, twice a year? Well, I think it's once a year now with devices now. They got rid of the mini. Google's going to be doing twice a year probably going forward. They're going to have a fold in the middle of the year, a fold or flips in the middle. Hopefully they do like a flip design. And then at the end of the year, we'll see their slab devices, and it's just the cycle. And I personally am not a fan because of the e-waste and things like that. I hope more phones are getting released, recycled and whatnot. But the nice thing as a consumer, you have to look at it, is that there's always something new coming out, right? So maybe you don't have to wait a year. If you can wait 3 more months, 5 more months, there'll be a new this, there'll be a new that, right? That's another way to look at it. So, yeah, I understand, man. I understand. All right, just says, if I do know better, the way he was laid back, I would say he was enjoying an alcohol beverage. No, dude, I haven't touched that stuff in a while. Actually, I haven't even thought about it, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, I'm a coffee, tea, water guy. This is Gamer Subs, because I couldn't find my shaker this evening. But yeah, anyway, people, hopefully you've enjoyed the casual conversation. I don't think we're going to put any chapters into this one. Maybe some real basic chapters and everything like that. And but yeah, appreciate you guys coming through there. Check out all my other socials, the Instagram, the TikToks, all that kind of stuff. I think I have a Facebook page. I can't remember. And next stream should be Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon, unless something comes up tomorrow. I'm moving a lot of my streams to the afternoon because it seems to work out for a lot more people, especially people across the pond. They're like 7 hours ahead, so it's like in the PMs for them. It's like 9 p.m. for them. It's like 2 o'clock for me here. So it seems to be working out well. There's also a possibility. I put out a short today about this. I also put it on Reels and TikTok. So I put it on all 3 about how I might move my live streams. I might move my live streams to that other streaming website that rhymes with glitch. So if I do that, it won't be a sudden thing. It'll be like a gradual thing. And the reason why is so that I can, because the streams will still be recorded with StreamYard, I can then download the streams and put them as a VOD, straight upload on YouTube without all the filler. So the stuff like right now, all this filler would be out. And then I could still make the shorts over on YouTube like I have. So YouTube would still get a chaptered video with shorts. It's just no live stream. The stream would be on glitch. And then in Instagram Reels and TikTok would remain the same. Yeah. We'll see. Don't tempt me. No. I haven't touched the stuff in a while. I can't remember the last time I had. Right? It's never been a big thing. Well, it was a big thing back in the day, but we won't talk about that. Whew. My liver's thankful. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap up things again. I appreciate everybody coming through tonight, all the newbies and whatnot. We try to do things here on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes more. Make sure you have your notifications on, all that kind of good stuff. You guys know how it works. And yeah, hopefully later this week I'll get the Pixel 7a in my grubby hands here, and we can start pumping out some 7a content on my end. And you know what's kind of funny? I haven't heard many people talk about this. It's just the last thing in my notes here I forgot to mention. Pixel 7a has a plastic back, and it seems like it's not really a factor anymore. Remember how people were complaining about that before? It seems like everybody's picking on the bezels this year. Ooh, the bezels on the Pixel Fold. Ooh. I don't think it matters. I might take El Jefe's. He said during his stream today that he might put out tweets, kind of like triggering the bezel crowd. The anti-bezel crowd. So I might do the same thing as well. I know that I put a short up about bezels, and it did quite well. People seem to get really triggered by that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the bezels. I think they'll probably get thinner in future designs, but there's nothing wrong with them. Anyway, people. 5 a.m. London. I feel tired. I don't know why, but it's a chill Sunday. We always try to do this lo-fi Sunday thing. People, you guys have a good night. Good morning, I guess. And we'll catch you. Bezel pigeon. Dude, you should use that hashtag. You should use it on Twitter. I'm all over that with you. Dude, please. Anyway, that's good. That's funny. All right. You guys have a good night. Take care. Cheers.